Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to the 49ers quality control meeting. I really appreciate all of you for showing up. John Lynch, thank you so much for being here. I really expected you to come and I appreciate your presence. Kyle Shanahan, fantastic to see you. Take off your hat. That's right. You got to take off your hat in this meeting. Great to see you. Martin Mayhew, Adam Peters, Robert Solid, terrific to see you. Wow, good turnout. Jed, even Jed York, great to see you, Jed. Because I didn't see you at the second half of the Miami game. It's great. No, don't sit in the back of the class. Don't sit in the back. I want you right up front. Pay attention. Don't look at your phone, okay? Don't look at your phone, Jed, and don't leave halfway through. I want you here the entire time. I want you taking notes, and I want you sitting in the front, okay? If I see you looking at your phone, I'm going to take it from you, and you're going to have to stand outside. I don't want to do that to you, Jed. Let's move past that. Okay. Order of business today. I'm going to tell you guys, look, you know you can't win without me. That's why you unofficially hired me as your quality control guy. You don't pay me. No one actually told me that I'm on the team or the payroll, but I'm here. 49ers quality control, Grant Cohn. You need me to figure out how to salvage this season, what to do next year, because you guys don't know. So, Kyle, hat off, okay? We're going now. This is serious. This is serious business. You're on the verge of having your third losing season in 4 years. I don't want to hear about the excuses. This is what you got to do next season and moving forward. Let's talk about your defense. We've had this discussion for years. How to build a defense, front to back or back to front. Do you put all your resources into your D-line or do you put some into your secondary as well? I've always said coverage is more important than pass rush. You guys disagree. You're wrong. Let me explain to you why I'm right and you're wrong, and why you actually need to draft a cornerback next year. It's really freaking important that you get a cornerback next year, because what you're doing to Robert Saleh is not fair. All the best defensive coordinators in the league have a shutdown corner or two. Look at Miami. Two highest paid players on that team are corners. So here's what you don't understand. Kyle, I'm talking to you now because you have the vision for this team. It's not even John Lynch or Robert Saleh or Martin Mayhew as much as it's you. They get you the players that you want. And you constantly say the reason you want pass rushers over corners is because pass rushers are the players that shut down your offense. And you're right about that because you run a 1985 offense. It's creative in an old school template. Your quarterback is under center a lot of the time, like 1985. And your passing concepts are a lot of play action stuff that take forever to happen. Long developing plays from under center. So yeah, pass rushers are going to screw up your offense the most. But if you haven't noticed, Kyle, the rest of the league is going to the shotgun. Okay? More and more and more shotgun. And when the quarterback's in the shotgun, when he gets the ball, he's already at his drop point. He can get the ball and throw it to someone before the defensive ends and defensive tackles can get out of their stance. I mean, really, in the shotgun, you can get the ball to the quarterback and he can get the ball to a receiver before an unblocked nickelback on a blitz can even sniff the quarterback. So as the rest of the league goes to the shotgun, you need cornerbacks because they can negate your first-round pass rushers just by going into the shotgun and calling quick passes. That's what the Cardinals do. Screen, 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 balls out, balls out. Plus, a lot of these quarterbacks are so mobile and so athletic. Even guys like Nick Bosa can get pressure, but whiff a lot of the time. So, as the game moves to a shotgun game, Jed, I want you taking notes. Jed, I want you taking notes. As the game goes to the shotgun, the importance of pass rushers goes down. The importance of corners goes up. They used to say you need a quarterback, people who protect the quarterback, and people who hit the quarterback. Well, it's really hard to hit the quarterback these days. Even if you do hit the quarterback, a lot of the times it's a 15-yard penalty if you're lucky enough to get there before the ball comes out in the second and a half. If it's all going to shotgun quick passing, you need two corners. Guys who play press man coverage, take away the quick stuff, and make the quarterback hold the ball and go down the field. If you have corners who can do that, look at Miami, Byron Jones, Xavier Howard, get in the wide receivers' faces, take away the quick, easy openings for the quarterback. Now he has to hold the ball. Now the pass rush just got better. Now the pass rush gets 3-4 seconds to do its job as opposed to a second and a half. And I want to, Salah, I hear you. I see you raising your hand. I know what you're thinking right now. I'm not saying neglect pass rushers, that pass rush isn't important. Pass rush is extremely important. And so is the secondary. They're the two most important things on your defense. I'm saying secondary here, pass rush a little bit here, maybe a little bit meow, but not meow. Okay. I'm saying they're both very important. Just look at the Miami Dolphins. They've been rebuilding for 2 years. They've done everything right. Look at the salary structure there. Corners top. Then they got Shaq Lawson and Emmanuel Sanders, former first-round picks, very talented players, making about $10 million a year. They're getting the Jimmy Ward contract. That's who you give the 3-year, $30 million contract to. The former first-round pick edge rusher who hasn't really worked out yet. Not the 30-year-old safety who never makes a play. No offense, Jimmy Ward. You just don't deserve that contract. That's how you do it. So you get these guys. You get edge rushers. You need them now, but they're kind of easier to find. I mean, they'll be on free agent market. You can get guys like Shaq Lawson and Emmanuel Sanders. It's really hard to get good corners on the free agent market, and if you do, they're expensive. Byron Jones was extremely expensive. The Niners could have got him. So it's all about coverage from 2020 on, because all we're going to see is more and more shotgun, more and more quick passing, more and more negating the pass rush entirely. And the reason the quarterback is in the shotgun is because defensive linemen become more and more athletic every year. They're the matchup between your average NFL pass rusher and your average NFL offensive lineman is not fair. It's in the defense's favor more than ever. And every year, it's like the pass rushers get more athletic and the offensive linemen stay the same or even get worse because there's so much quick passing in college. They don't even really get to do anything in college. They come to the NFL and have to really block. So you got to be in the shotgun. You got to be in the shotgun. You got to throw the ball quick. And if that's the case, then your defense needs 2 lockdown corners. 2 of the best athletes of your team need to be. Just having one isn't good enough. The Packers have one. And Kyle, you know this. Kyle, if you see a team with one cornerback, you're just going to attack his slot guy and his number 2 guy, his safety, his linebackers all day. There's a million ways to work around one good corner. That's why, Parag, I'm talking to you. You've been here like 20 years, and the only corners you've drafted before round 4 are Chris Culliver and Ahkello Witherspoon. That's on you. You were here for all of that, okay? You got to change your philosophy here. You need to be taking a corner no later than pick 45 this year. You're in a tough spot because you also need to take a quarterback. So you take your quarterback first and you take a corner second. No later than pick 45. If you wait, you're not going to get a good one. You can get wide receivers in round 3 who are great. You can't do it. I know you tried. You've been failing a lot. The corners you drafted, Parag, that you signed off on, Chris Culliver, Rashard Robinson, remember him? Ahkello Witherspoon, Tim Harris Jr., you got to scrap the whole thing. That's what I'm here for. You got your defense backward. You got to build from the back up. It's a chicken and an egg thing. A good pass rush makes the secondary not have to cover as long. A good secondary gives a pass rush more time to get to the quarterback. It's a chicken and an egg thing. It's a yin and yang relationship. They're both important. You don't get that. You think it's all pass rush. No, it's both, and coverage is even more important. So that's what I'm here. Jed, give me the phone. Give me the phone. Give me the phone right now. Stand outside. That's right. I told him, right? Did I not tell him that I was going to send him outside? And now he has to stand out there. I don't know. He's 40 years old, guys. I don't know what to tell him. Okay, let's move on. Cornerbacks he doesn't need to hear this part. I'll get Jed in a minute. He doesn't need to hear this part. But cornerbacks in the draft. Since I've said you need to take this position seriously, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't say who to get, who you should actually go out and target. And to me, it looks like a historically excellent class of corners coming out. I'm just going to name some names. It's November. A lot of you guys, I mean, Robert Saleh, Kyle Shanahan, you guys aren't supposed to be looking at college football right now. You're 4-5. You got to look at the Saints. So right now, Martin Mayhew, I think you probably know. Martin, give me a holler if you've heard of any of these names before. Okay? Give me a what. If you've heard of any of these names before, just give me a what. A little what? A little what? Okay. Shaun Wade, Ohio State. There's that what. Martin Mayhew knows what I'm talking about. Shaun Wade, Ohio State. Can I get a what? Caleb Farley, Virginia Tech. Patrick Surtain Jr. I know you feel old now, right? Patrick Surtain Jr. from Alabama. Asante Samuel Jr. He was in the league when I first started covering the Niners. The dad. Asante Samuel Jr., Florida State. J.C. Horn from South Carolina. That's Joe Horn's son. That's my favorite corner. Niners, if you can get J.C. Horn, you got to get him because he's Joe Horn's son, and he's also really good. But he's Joe Horn's son, and he's also really good. Okay, I got more. Eric Stokes, Georgia. Darion Kendrick, Clemson. Kyle, you taking notes? TJ Carter, Memphis. Elijah Molden, Washington. And then here's a name for you. Diamador Lenoir. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but it's Diamador Lenoir from Oregon. That's 10 corners who are legit. So no, take the quarterback first, but you need to take the cornerback second, and it should be one of these guys. To me, it looks like one of the best years for corners. Don't let it go by. Don't let it slip through your hands like you always do. Would someone get Jed York? Someone get Jed York. You gonna pay attention now? Good. Okay, good. Moving on. What is the next topic? Jed, you made me lose my train of thought. Oh, let's stick with corners. Richard Sherman seems like he's going to come back or wants to come back to the team after the bye week. That's in 2 weeks. As we all know, he injured something near his Achilles. We're calling it his calf. Publicly, we're calling it calf. We're still calling it calf publicly. He injured that, missed 10 weeks. Now he wants to come back. What's the plan there, guys? Because you know he's not going to make your defense better. Him going down is one of the best things that's happened to this team this season because his backup, Jason Verrett, is better than Richard Sherman. For starters. 2, is more versatile than Richard Sherman in the sense that he can play both man and zone coverage as opposed to Sherman, who plays only zone. So while Sherman will go back on the field, this is what will happen if you play Richard Sherman the rest of the way. He'll go back on the field. Robert, you'll be forced to call nothing but cover 3 and cover 4 and various types of zones. No one will go after Richard Sherman while he's in zone coverage. He'll just be there on his own. The rest of your defense will get eaten to shreds because no one's covering anyone. And Richard Sherman will enter free agency with a really good pro football focus grade. And he'll say, oh, my numbers were great, even though the defense tanked after he came back. Because playing zone every snap is good for only him, not anyone else. So if you put him back on the field, you'll definitely help him get paid by another team. You'll help boost his stock, but you're not going to help your own defense. You're not going to give playing time to someone who has a future on your team. We're talking about 32-year-old Richard Sherman, who's going to be a goner. He shouldn't play. I don't think he should play anymore this season. Call me kooky. I think Mosley and Verrett are your 2 best corners. And what you could bring back Richard Sherman as a backup. If he wants to be Jason Verrett's backup, great. He'd be better than Brian Allen, sure. But to actually bench Mosley or Verrett for Richard freaking Sherman, 32-year-old Richard Sherman, nah, I don't think so. That's only going to help him. Because again, Robert, you're going to be forced to call nothing but zone. Quarterbacks are going to leave him alone. They're going to go, everything else is going to be open to them. And Richard Sherman is just going to enter free agency saying, I did my job well. At what cost? At what cost? You can't just play zone coverage every snap anymore, even if you do have Richard Sherman. Let him rehab. He only wants to play. I'm thinking he only wants to play because he needs to put something on tape to get something in free agency. If he's coming off a season where he only played one game, what's he going to get? A 1-year deal worth $1 million? If that, like the vet min, right? The vet minimum. So he needs to get back out there. You don't need to have him be out there. Let him be the third corner. You know? He's not part of the future. He's 32 years old. He's going to be on another team. How does it help you? If Mosley starts getting burned or Verrett starts getting burned, maybe I'm wrong. But the way I look at it is Richard Sherman's at the end. He's blocking people on Twitter because he knows it's true. I said that Jason Verrett is better than him. Block me. Look, I don't trust a corner who's blocking people. You're supposed to be mentally tough as a corner. You can't block, Michael Thomas. Can't block. Can't guard Michael Thomas either. Can't guard Mike. All right. That's enough of the cornerback discussion. Let's talk quarterbacks. And now, Jed, you need to be paying attention here because this is the quarterback. This is the position that you spend the most money on. I'm going to tell you how you can stop spending $27 million a year on Jimmy Garoppolo. I know it kills you to write those game checks when you're getting nothing from him. So what you got to do is draft a freaking quarterback. Kyle, look at me. Kyle, look at me. Look at me. You got to draft a quarterback this year, okay? Before round 3, you got to draft a quarterback look at me. I'm talking to you, all right? You got to draft a quarterback in round 1. It's amazing that you still have a job after passing on Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. Most people wouldn't. Most people would be fired for that. That's a fireable offense. They stuck with you for good reason. You're a good coach. You can't make that mistake again. You can't. I don't want to hear that you couldn't evaluate the guy because he was in the shotgun. That's the way it is. That's college football. You passed on Patrick Mahomes because you didn't see him under center, and you drafted CJ Beathard because you did see him under center. Well, your method of scouting is flawed. Throw it out. Just take my advice, okay? Take the best quarterback available in round 1, except for one guy. There's one guy that I think you got to be worried about and avoid. And I could be wrong, but I like all the first-round quarterbacks except one. And I don't even know why I don't like them that much, but this is why we're having this discussion. Kyle, if you have different things you want to say, Martin, Jed, let me know. I don't trust Justin Fields. I'll tell you right now. I don't trust him. I'm cool with everyone else. Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, whatever, Kyle Trask. Justin Fields makes me scared because he's an Ohio State quarterback. And there's never been a successful NFL quarterback from Ohio State. I don't know why. I mean, I have theories. Now, it's dangerous to scout a school because if you did that, then you would have passed on Deshaun Watson. There's never been a good Clemson quarterback in the NFL before him that I know of. Or Mahomes. Never been a good Texas Tech quarterback before him that I know of. But there might be something with this Ohio State thing. I mean, here's what let me give you the list of Ohio State quarterbacks the past 15 years that were fantastic in college. I mean, put up huge numbers in college. Troy Smith, Terrell Pryor, J.T. Barrett, Cardale Jones, Dwayne Haskins. Okay? All these guys were miserable failures in the NFL. All of them. It wasn't the fault of the team that drafted them. They all stunk. None of them were NFL products. Really, they were overrated and shouldn't have been in the league. They all washed out quickly. Terrell Pryor had to change positions. Braxton Miller had to change positions. These are athletes a lot of the time at quarterback. And what is it about Ohio State that makes you, this is important, guys, because you might have a chance to get Justin Fields, and you got to really think this through. You know, the Giants were smart to pass on Dwayne Haskins and take Daniel Jones. That was very smart. You may be in a similar situation where you have a choice between Trey Lance and Justin Fields. Here's why I would go with Lance. Well, at Ohio State, first of all, it's the most talented team in the Big Ten. You got 5-star recruits at running back every year and wide receiver and on the offensive line. Also, it's a spread offense. So you're spreading out the defense and making them cover one-on-one guys that they can't match up with in the Big Ten. So they're screwed right away. Also, you got usually a great running game, a great running back paired with the zone read. And that's the first thing opposing defenses in the Big Ten, which aren't even that good. They're not that athletic in the Big Ten. They got to have an answer for the run game. So it's a spread offense, fast-paced, shotgun run game with great players. That means the quarterbacks see really vanilla coverages. They see 8-man boxes with zone behind them. They see cover 3 all freaking day. And they have wide open throwing windows, and they have great players to hand off to and throw to. So you're seeing it's a vanilla scheme. There's very little progression. It's like checkers. It's fast break basketball. If he does this, you throw here. It's not like triangle progressions where you're reading things or looking at complex defenses. The schemes, the coverages are basic. Their scheme is basic and vanilla. What they're asked to do is nothing like what they're asked to do in the NFL. And when they get here, what you see from every single Ohio State quarterback is they can't read a defense. They're one-read quarterbacks. Would you like Dwayne Haskins right now? No. So Justin Fields, he's more mobile than Dwayne Haskins. I'm nervous about Justin Fields, though. Now, I can see, Kyle, what you're saying is, look, Jimmy Garoppolo's a one-read quarterback. You can do pretty good with a one-read quarterback, Kyle, because you make all the reads for him, basically. And at least Justin Fields' athleticism will give you something that Jimmy doesn't give you. And at least Justin Fields can throw downfield, unlike Jimmy. So, sure. And if he's the best you can do, maybe you take Justin Fields at pick 15. Maybe. You trust that one? You want to have the next Dwayne Haskins with legs? I don't know. Be careful. If you have a choice, I think I would put him below. I think I would go I would go Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, number 4. That's how I would do it. You guys got to be careful. Ohio State quarterbacks have never worked out. What are we talking about next? Let's talk Emmanuel Sanders real quick, because I'm really berating you guys and teaching you how to run a football team because you don't know what you're doing, and that's why I'm here. But you let Emmanuel Sanders go. He's on the Saints. He's having a good season. He's going to play really well against you on Sunday. And my colleague, Jose Sanchez at All 49ers Sports Illustrated, wrote an article yesterday saying the Niners really, really miss Emmanuel Sanders now. And I wrote on Twitter, hell yeah, they do. But the more I think about it, the more I want to give you guys credit. John, Kyle, Martin, Jed. No, Jed, you just signed the checks. No, you don't get credit for this, Jed. But the rest of you, it was the right call. It was the right call because, look, you never even threw to Emmanuel Sanders when he was on the team. He was like a decoy. Plus, you don't throw the ball down the field to begin with. This is a gadget offense. The whole offense is hand the ball off a bunch and then throw short passes to your wide receivers who are really running backs and let them get yards after the catch. It's all about yards after the catch and quick passes. So that doesn't fit Emmanuel Sanders. Why are you going to spend $10 million a year for Emmanuel Sanders, who's not a yard after the catch guy, who'd break down if you did him that way, who's like a get open down the field guy? That's not you. So you got rid of an older vet who didn't fit your system, save some money. You got a replacement, Brandon Ayuk, who I think is a much better fit for this offense. Maybe not a better player right now, but a better fit for this offense, and he's 10 years younger. So I want to commend you guys for doing the right thing with Emmanuel Sanders. It was hard, and I'm sure this weekend when you watch Emmanuel Sanders go for 400 yards and 8 touchdowns against you guys is really going to hurt, but you did the right thing. You did the right thing. It's not always going to feel like the right thing when he's just gouging you, but you know you're better off long-term with Brandon Ayuk than Emmanuel Sanders, and if you had kept Emmanuel Sanders, you definitely wouldn't have Brandon Ayuk. I think the Saints would probably rather have Ayuk right now, but you have him. So I want to say very good. Jed, I'm not talking to you. I'll get to you later, okay? I have something for you. So yes, you need to stay. What, I have my teeth. Okay. I'm getting to you, Jed. No, one more topic and then we'll get to you. So you did a good job with Brandon Ayuk, although if I were running the team, and I am now, I wouldn't draft a wide receiver in round 1. I really wouldn't, even though there are exceptions to the rule. And if you live by that rule, you'll miss out on players like Julio Jones and Brandon Ayuk. But what I've seen is that you should have taken a cornerback at that pick. You could have taken Trayvon Diggs instead of Ayuk. Trayvon Diggs went to Dallas. And the thing is, it's a supply and demand thing. You look at the Steelers, who do it right. They don't need me as quality control. They already know what they're doing. They don't draft wide receivers. Now, they haven't in the past. But for the last 10 years, they haven't. They just take a wide receiver at the end of round 2 or the beginning of round 3 every year. And that allows them to just say goodbye after a few years. Like James Washington, they don't want him next year. Goodbye. Or Juju Smith-Schuster. Say Juju Smith-Schuster wants too much money. Goodbye. We got 3 other guys we've been developing, plus we're going to draft a guy. And they just do it every year and it works. Like, yeah, you got Brandon Ayuk and he's a good player, but they waited another, 40 picks and got Chase Claypool, who's even better. So don't fall in love with the first round wide receiver. Don't. Kyle, I'm basically talking to you here. You're a wide receiver. It's your favorite position. I get it. You love scouting the position, picking the position. You do it every year. Don't. Stop. Don't draft a wide receiver this year. And don't keep drafting wide receivers this high in the draft. You need to draft a corner here because, again, it's supply and demand. It's harder to find good corners than good wide receivers. If you're waiting till the end of round 2, the beginning of round 3 to find a good corner, you're out of luck. You already missed it. But what I want to say, so Ayuk, decent pick, good player, maybe not the right spot to take him, considering that you passed on the cornerbacks and you still need one. Kinlaw. Martin, John, Kyle, this was a bad pick. He's already looking like a bust. Even if he reaches his ceiling, I don't think he's ever going to merit the 14th pick. So here's what you need to learn. Your philosophy in terms of building a defense is backward. You want to go front to back. You got to go back to front now in 2020. But your philosophy in the trenches is backward too. You should not be taking a 2-down, run-stuffing defensive tackle in the first round, the second round, the third round. You can get those guys. You got one in Kevin Givens, undrafted free agent. You got one in DJ Jones. It was a 6th-round pick. You don't need to spend a first-round pick on basically the same skill set. If you're drafting in the first round, you take a pass rusher, sure. Buckner coming into the league. DeForest Buckner was a pass rusher. He's proven. He came into the league with a skill set and an array of pass rush moves, like a pitcher who has a fastball, a changeup, a slider, and a curveball. Kinlaw is just a fastball pitcher. He's like a closer, the guy who has 97-mile-an-hour heat, but nothing else. Like, sorry, that's not good enough. And you can find people like that. So if you can get the 4-pitch pass rusher in the first round, great. Get him. Doesn't matter what position, inside, outside, doesn't matter. But if you're taking a developmental power player who has a bull rush and that's it, no. Best case scenario, you get Eric Armstead. And that's not what you want to get in round 1. Those are 3rd-round picks. The upside guys, no. You don't do that. What you do is you take offensive line. Better to take a center than a 2-down run-stuffing defensive tackle. Better to take a guard. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is hurt right now because the Niners guards stink. And that includes Laken Tomlinson. Laken Tomlinson was the one who got beat by Quinnen Williams and gave up the hit on Jimmy Garoppolo. Laken Tomlinson's the best guard the Niners have. Martin, you drafted him. He's decent. Not that good, though. And that's the best you got. Now you got Daniel Brunskill at center. Undrafted free agent, not his natural position. At right guard, you got Colton McKivitz, 5th-round pick. No. You would have been better off, this year if you just followed my philosophy of team building. With the first pick, you take offensive line. It could have been Tristan Wirfs, a tackle. It could have been Cesar Ruiz, an interior guy. Either one, you'd be better right now. Would be a better player, a more impactful player than Javon Kinlaw, Because you have good defensive tackles. We see it. Jones, Givens, Street. Then, after that, you take the cornerback, Trayvon Diggs, instead of Brandon Ayuk. And I know we like Brandon Ayuk, good player. But wide receivers are a dime a dozen. They're like the new running backs. Running backs are really important too. They're a dime a dozen. You can get them. Corners are the ones that are hard to find. So now it's time to talk about Jed. Jed, thank you for paying attention. I did need to take away your phone, but you're learning. You're only 40. So there seems to be an issue with the COVID test, Jed. Your wide receiver has had a positive test, a negative test, a negative test, a positive test, and a negative test. It's ridiculous. He might miss a second game because the tests that you're providing are no good. Also, there seems to be some phenomenon on your team of players getting injured and having setback after setback after setback. It's a new term. I'm not familiar with it. When Jim Harbaugh was the head coach here, there wasn't the constant series of setbacks from injured players. This is new. Now, I remember when Jim Harbaugh was the head coach here, Stanford Hospital was essentially the team training staff, the team doctor. Anytime someone got hurt, they went to Stanford. Are they still doing that? Are you cutting corners again, Jed? I know you like people to think that you're really rich and you spend a lot. You are rich, but you don't spend a lot. Like you spend like I spend, and I don't spend much. Eddie, your uncle, spent on everything. And here's the difference. Like, it's one thing to spend on players. Every coach, every owner spends on players. It's the other stuff, the non-salary cap stuff, the stuff that fans and media don't even necessarily think about. The training staff, the stadium. God, this stadium is so mediocre, Jed. The assistant coaching staff. All the little the game day experience for the family of the players. What I've heard is that the game day experience at the Niners is the worst in the league, other than Cleveland. That for the family and friends of the local team and the away team, those people go to the games too, right? And they have to sit somewhere. And usually, at most teams, they are the guests of honor, as they should be. You're talking kids and wives and of your team and the away team. I mean, you're trying to be a host here. You're trying to be a good host. And from what I've heard, you put no effort into it, no money into it, and it's only more pathetic in Cleveland. That's why people think of you as Cleveland West, because you cut these corners. You think Nick Bosa wants to rehab here this offseason? No. He'd be crazy. Ronald Blair had a setback. Jerick McKinnon had like 11 setbacks. Nick Bosa needs to be as far away from your training staff as possible. Jed, what are you going to do about this? Are you buying COVID tests at Walmart? What is going on here? These are the 49ers. You're supposed to have A+ amenities everywhere. You built a mediocre, bare bones stadium that looked like the cheapest one you could have built. Compare it to the stuff they build in LA, and Dallas, and Las Vegas. They spared no expense. You spared every expense. That's what you did. And now your team lost a game last week to the Packers because of the testing that's getting sent around your facility. Come on, Jed. When I took your phone away about 15 minutes ago, were you looking at better COVID tests that you could purchase for your players? Or were you on Twitter looking at your mentions? They're not good, Jed. They still don't like you. That's what you need to know. You don't have to look. You know what it's going to say. It doesn't matter how benign the tweet is that you put out there. People are still going to say, sell the team, Jed. Sell it. But I don't think you should sell the team just yet, because you have the right people in the building. All you need to do is listen and be receptive. Take notes, okay? I laid it out for you. You got to get a cornerback this year, maybe two. Get a quarterback this year, probably not Justin Fields. And just send me a nickel. Send me a nickel. Give me a business card. I'd like a business card. Grant Cohn, unofficial quality control for the 49ers. Doesn't get paid or have an office or really work for us. But he has a business card. I think that's fair. I don't know. I try hard. I say I give just as much effort as Jimmy Ward and Eric Armstead. And they my goodness. Okay, Kyle, John, Jed, Martin, Adam, thank you guys so much for coming in, watching. I don't want to take up too much of your time. It's gone about 34 minutes. You guys need to go implement all of the great suggestions that I just gave you. I'm going to do this every week. A quality control session. Add this to your schedule. Put it in your Google Calendar. Be here every week until you guys are above 500. Really, until you guys are back above 500, you have to come here. Think of it as detention, study hall. Okay? You have to earn your privileges. This is every week. And I got to give you homework. The homework is watch all of my YouTube videos and read all of my articles for the rest of the week. You have to. Jed, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. All right, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next week.